What's going on, traders? Welcome back to another live stream here. I want to make sure you guys can hear me. We look good. I am in a different location, as you can see, but excited to run this last day of the trading week a little bit early. No trading tomorrow. If you're new here, my name is Zach. This is Real Deal Futures. Make sure you read what's on the screen. Trading's risky. Most traders do lose money. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't provide financial advice. For entertainment purposes only, do your own research, make your own trading decisions. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts, and the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links in my content. Like this top one futures fun stuff that we're looking at today, code RDF, all of that. I can't be unbiased. Let's hop on to the charts, man. Market is opened up 30 seconds into NYSE open. We are here on micro ES. What's going on? Good morning. Good morning. Appreciate you guys being in the chat. I'll be saying what's up to you in just a minute as we are watching these markets start to open up, and we are at an interesting spot on the charts. So bear with me. I'll say what's up in the chat in just a minute, but I want to take you guys through this this analysis real quick. Links at the top if you want to check out Top 1 Futures. I had a couple people, I saw a couple people in the chat asking a couple questions. I'll run through it in detail, but let's take a look at this 15-minute chart first, guys. Let's get comfortable here, right? Let's get warmed up. Appreciate you guys jumping on. Interesting, right? We really didn't. Let's do the daily first. Let's start how we usually do. Interesting that we didn't blast through highs here. And interesting that we saw quite a bit of selling pressure yesterday, taking us all the way down to the 250s, really cleaning out liquidity that was down at 250. Today, we are opening up near the middle ground of yesterday's range, right? If we look at the daily low down here and the daily high up here, albeit kind of drifting to the downside right now. Got a long wick bullish candle, long wick to the upside, bullish candle forming on the daily so far. We got through 8:30 red folder news. We do not have red folder news. Coming into this trading session, so that's good. I think this is an interesting spot. I really do, right? We put some lows in here, pushed to the upside really aggressively, came back down, retested, pushed back up, failed to get above the highs. Now we started to drift lower. Are we going to start to sell off aggressively, or are we going to push back up? If I look at the 15-minute chart, I do like this to get possibly aggressive if we start moving. I could see a return to this level wanting to happen right now. I'm tempted to get short right into it. We have liquidity sitting down here. I'm going to challenge myself to stay patient, and it's paid me very well the last few days. Getting too aggressive has not paid me very well, but I'm very tempted to get aggressive on this one. I see us returning to 5,300 very quickly. I think this will provide a really, really easy to define short to the downside, down below VWAP, after some long wicks to the upside, testing this area of high volume multiple times. I'm really tempted on it, guys, but I don't want to make this a short session if I start to take quick L's. I think we're headed down through the 53.12s right now. I'll discuss the market even if I'm not going to trade it. It's just 3 minutes into the open. I can't stand to take a trade, 3 minutes into NYSE open. It's just too aggressive for me. Not my play. But here we go, selling off. I like this to the downside so far. Again, overlapping. This is an area of high volume. Almost every level on my chart nowadays is a volume level. This zone, this big zone that we retested right here, is a big high volume level looking at the 15-minute chart. We have prior day's value area low, prior week's point of control, volume point of control, the overnight low down here, right? These are the lows that we put in after session changeover. And we have our prior day low all the way down here. So this is looking weak, right? If this continues, yeah, I had a good read on this one this morning coming in. If this one continues, I could see us selling down to around these levels. Maybe some buyers step in, and this is going to be a decision point on the chart. Do we start to push back up, come back through VWAP? Kind of like yesterday where I got long, and maybe we come and check this area out again. Or is this all we needed to do, which it might be, and we're ready to sell off a little bit? Cautious of some chop, right? We got a holiday tomorrow. We might see some muted volume today. But I'm looking at this as we got past a lot of the news, the red folder news, and now the market is ready to move a little bit. We're at an interesting spot on the higher time frames, interesting spot on the lower time frames. I think we could see some movement out of the market today, so I'm ready to trade it. Again, we'll be patient off the open. Not getting too crazy has helped me. Getting too crazy, getting too aggressive has hurt me more than it's helped me. So right now, opening up below VWAP, right? We know what happened yesterday. Again, looking up, I'm going to run the side by side. 15-minute and 1 minute. I really enjoyed that. We know what happened yesterday. I got long down here. Wasn't trusting the longs early in the day. That paid very nicely. If you take a look, we did go and tap that 53.95. Go back and watch my live from yesterday. I called that level 47,000 times. Didn't hold all the way there. Took it near VWAP. Got paid. Looked at this level. And look what happened when we got up here, guys, right? Not anything really surprising. Right below this 5,400 that we tapped and then sold off really, really aggressively. Now, this was coming into Jerome Powell speaking, right? That 1:30 p.m. Super aggressive selling. Obviously, the market did not like what he had to say. And we rebounded in the overnight session, really pushed higher through Asia and into London. Started to sell off through London into pre-market. We're looking pretty damn weak, man. So again, this to me looks weak. Gun to my head, which I don't have. I know I say that a lot. Hopefully I never have. I'm short on this down towards these levels. I'm not going to take it now. It's just too early in the session. I like to at least give it 15, 20, even better, 30 minutes to start to open up. We get some craziness out of the way. We get the initial wild volume, and we get some direction. So my game plan right now is unbiased, right? Staying unbiased the way that I like to. Short off the rip here, but I'm not taking it. So if we start to push the highs, maybe a setup for a long back towards prior days volume point of control off of VWAP. I could see something like that. If we do come lower, I'm not in it right now short, right? So I'm not going to capitalize on that. I'm interested to see what happens when we get down here, down towards that 5,300 that we've hung out so many times over the last week, through last week, obviously, right? Prior week's volume point of control is sitting right there. So I think we're in an interesting spot on these charts. I see some opportunities coming today. I'm excited to be trading live here with you guys. Remember, no trading tomorrow. Tomorrow is Good Friday, U.S. holiday. Banks are closed. Everything's closed. No futures trading tomorrow. So let's let this market open up and see what we got. Good morning. Good morning, Wolf. Good morning, Sam. Good morning, Saeed. What's up, AD? Feli, I can't pronounce your guys' names. What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody else? Just know that I'm reading your name. I'm here. Going on? Good morning. Power play. What's happening? Can anyone guide me in funded accounts? How it works? What's up, my man? So I would go through my YouTube, Saeed. I would take a look. I got about 2 or 3 videos on Top 1 Futures itself, and I have a tutorial on Project X, which is the platform that Top 1 Futures is on. If you guys aren't aware, these are Top 1 Futures instant funded accounts. That's what I'm trading. I've got 3 of them that I'm copy trading right here. The 150K accounts, the largest accounts. Maxed out with capital with those guys right now on this. So if you have specific questions after that, I'm like more than happy to answer Discord or on here. But I would go through those, and then I would go through the website. Read through the website, read through all the rules, read through the frequently asked questions. You know, start there just to get a feel for it. See Bones, what's up? What's going on? Found you on Instagram, and I like the way you present yourself. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Second live for sure. I appreciate that. Thanks, guys. Yeah. Again, if you don't know me, I trade live here on YouTube almost every day. I do trade futures full time. Been trading for about 5 to 6 years now. Came from Forex to futures. Just a little intro. I don't claim to be the best trader in the world. I'm not on the leaderboards. I don't have all the biggest payouts. I don't have some magic strategy that I'm trying to sell you. I just like to show you what real trading looks like for me. If you want to support me on the back end by using a code, using a link, I get paid on that. That works really well. I have worked with traders one-on-one in some advanced programs to really help them overcome tilt and some of the organization. I do that, but it's not something you hear me talk about at all, really, because that's not my main MO. I do everything for free. Get the strategy, get the approach, get the mindset, ask me questions. 100% free Discord. I like doing it this way. It's very fun, mutually beneficial. You guys get discounts at places that you might be wanting to check out. I get paid on the back end. It's great. But yeah, happy to have you guys here. Volume indicators. Yeah, we can dig into that. Good morning. Good morning. So many people here. What's up? What's up? Can I use it in Pakistan? I don't know. On the website, they're going to have a list of banned countries. I would check that out. India had problems, so I might want to check. Yeah, I would check it out on their site, guys, on Top 1 Futures. I would go to the frequently asked questions, and I would check out whether or not your country is on the banned list. And then if you are worried about it, I would hit their support. Yeah, man, we got some good questions in here. When did you decide to go full time? Yeah, I'll answer that as well, man. We can talk a little bit about that. Talk a little bit about my journey there. But volume indicators, and I'll talk about that. Throw the questions in there, man. I'll definitely get to it. I'm watching the market sell off. I'm not going to get too locked into yapping with you guys just yet. But these are great questions, man. We're going to have a good session. I can feel it. Good energy here today, guys. I got good energy. I'm excited to wrap this trading week up early. I'm back in a different spot with my family, which is always cool. Love to get around my family, my in-laws, my nieces. It's awesome, man. So, yeah, watching this sell off, man. Again, so initially, right off of VWAP, this did look good for a short. Too early to get involved. I'm interested to see down around the 5300s if we approach that level to the downside. Let's see what happens. Back up at VWAP, also interested to see what happens. If we reject VWAP again and then maybe try to come back through, that would really look good for shorts. If we push through VWAP to the upside, which is the white line on my chart, we may be in for a move to the upside. But this is kind of interesting here. Watching Bookmap as well. This is my favorite order flow tool that I run on the side. Bookmap is level 2 data by way of a heat map. The only thing real special about Bookmap is this heat map here. This level 2 data you can get from a bunch of different providers, but that's what we're looking at here. This is ES. These are prices, right? ES prices. This is where price is at right now, current price. We have best bid and ask in the middle. And these are current stacks of orders on the book above and below price. Sell orders above, buy orders below. We are able to see live liquidity in the market with order flow tools with level 2 data. 5250, we got some orders down below. That's pretty much it for today. Oh, spoke too soon. Look how far out I got to zoom for that. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to try not to break Bookmap. We have a ton of orders up at 5500. That is a very large stack for today or any other day, in my humble opinion. 1250 on the book. Looks like it's been on there for a while. Been on there since before market open. I'm just scrolling back in time. Yeah, that's interesting. So we start to head north. Big round number 5500. We got somebody or multiple people that want to get involved up there. But right here, right now, closer to price. Sorry for getting everybody dizzy. Not too much wild. Not too much wild. We got some on the book right below price here. Look, we want to go and grab that. But I'll leave this over to the side. I'll be talking about it, calling out what I see. I'll show you guys how I utilize that as well. So far, checking this market out, man. Yeah, I'm going to stay patient on this. Stay patient on this. Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy yet. Appreciate you being on. We got a bunch of people, man. Smash like. Smash the like button. Help me out with the YouTube algorithm. Do whatever you want also. You don't have to do that. I don't, I can't make you do anything. Free means free. If you want to help me out, try to figure out how this YouTube algorithm works, feel free to smash like, smash subscribe. I keep subscriber mode on, try to limit the trolls. But we got a bunch of people in here yapping today, which is good. Appreciate you guys. Talk to you. I'll talk to you. Back up to VWAP on this. Interesting. Interesting, ES. Yeah, I was talking a little bit about myself. If you guys don't know, how I trade, if you're new, I'm discretionary, right? Fairly discretionary, but very, very simple. Price action, volume, order flow, right? Price action and market structure, volume, and order flow. My chart looks a little bit hectic today, but it's just horizontal areas of interest, basic areas of interest. Almost all of them are volume related or market generated. The only, gray stuff I have on my chart is the discretionarily marked zones that are coming off of volume as well. None of them are magical. None of the stuff on my chart is magical. 3 indicators technically, which is the VWAP, the volume profile, and then standard volume down on the bottom. Outside of that, it's just, my markings, which are levels. But primarily I'm paying attention to market structure, volume that I'm getting these levels from, and order flow over on the side, kind of in that order, really. Price and market structure first, volume tools, order flow. But discretionary, very simple. I try to flow with the way that the market is moving. Simple break and retest. These days I've been running a wider stop, wider take profit. Try not to get wicked out like a madman in these volatile, violent markets. That's been working pretty nice for me. But you can catch my lives here almost every dang day, 9:30 a.m. Yeah, back up towards VWAP. I'm gonna wait on this. I'm interested to see what happens, right? We got some choppiness now. We come back down through these lows. I'm gonna be tempted on it short. I just don't know that we blow through this level, right? Like if we had something on the 15 that was farther away and not so prominent right here, we come back down through these lows on this type of structure, from pre-market into the open. I'm definitely short, but I'm cautious down here, man. I think we find buyers right here. This is a real, obvious level. So short from up here wouldn't be bad, actually. Now that I'm saying it. Um, but I don't know that I want to hold through this, right? Like I think if we reach this level, we could easily reject, see some buyers step in, kick price higher, and then continue. So I'd be cautious short through this. Short to this level, pretty clear. We just filled up liquidity at 320. Where's that big stack? 250. All the way down. Yeah, that would be a really large movement. I don't know about that one. Don't know about that one. Through the first 15 minutes, kind of indecisive candles here on the 15-minute chart. I'm looking at this for a short play, but I'm staying patient. That wasn't even a test of VWAP. If we had a sweep above and we came back down, I'd be short on this. But it's not bad for a short play right here, right now, down towards these levels. Just measuring out. I'm tempted on a short here, guys. It's not that clean. Kind of what I was dealing with yesterday morning, right? Stayed patient and we caught the trade. Got paid yesterday on that patience, but this isn't terrible to the downside. It's just not beautiful with a stop right at VWAP. I think we're breaking and headed down to the 5,300. Again, I'm just cautious down here, so it's not a nice distance. It's really not a nice break and run to the downside movement. If I'm going to be cautious down here, potentially looking at buyers stepping in. But we're rejecting below VWAP again, coming out of this area of high volume that we tested multiple times. We got quite a bit of volume down here, looking at the profile. So, again, I think we're likely to return and come and check out this overnight low. Tempted on this short, guys. I'm eyeballing a short, which is why I'm just not talking to you too much in the chat. I know you're in there. I'm going to say what's up. I'll go through and answer all questions and talk. Not all questions, but I'll talk to you guys. Yeah, I think I'm going to try this. I think I'm going to try this for a breakout to the downside. 100 ticks of risk, above session highs up here. Just want to see what happens down here. Watching book map as well. Yeah, I think we're gonna go clear out the 5300s. So I'm gonna run this one, guys. I'm gonna run this one with a pretty wide stop to start. 500 bucks worth of risk. We'll see if we get a gnarly rejection here. I'm entering as we're pulling back up because on another day, if I'm taking this quickly, I'm entering on this candle right here as we come down. We got liquidity down towards 5310 that we're gonna have to get through right at these lows. We have quite a bit of levels overlapping themselves down here. Now, if we are going to move lower, maybe we have to rip to the upside first. We'll see how this one pays. Feels a little bit like Friday where I took stop outs. But I'm going to jump into this one, right? Below VWAP, we've had multiple rejections up here. My stop is above this area of high volume, looking at the 15-minute. Right around VWAP. If we have to retest VWAP, which maybe it looks like we go up and do right now, I potentially survive. We come up above these levels. We really come up above these 15-minute highs. I'm out, obviously. I'm looking for this to continue right here, right now, but I'm allowing room to pull back. Looking for a breakdown past the 5300s. Not something that I'm going to hold for forever if it does move in my favor down here. But I'm short 4 from 53.16 and 3/4. Stop at 53.41, 75, decent distance away. Seeing some volatility. Buyers taking it back up higher. Not continuing to the downside, but I'm going to put my trades on as I see fit and run them with you guys. Again, a little bit early, right? Not waiting extremely patiently to get through too much chop. This was pretty aggressive selling pressure to the downside. Staying below VWAP. We retested here. Selling on selling pressure back down to the downside. Although we didn't break this low. This looks pretty ugly. Immediately pulling back up on me. But, again, stopped where it needs to be. Allowing for a retest of this level. Allowing for a retest of VWAP. We need to wick all the way up here. It invalidates the trade, right? We're not continuing off these lows. We're pulling all the way back up to hang out here up at volume. Look for a second trade, right? That's going to be my game plan. $500 worth of risk. Really right at where I want to be if I want to give myself a couple trades. Yeah, man. Buyer step right back in off these lows on this. Not continuing to the downside. Really not going to see this 5,300 level. But let's see what happens up here at VWAP. Last chance to survive. Not at all holding for me. This is good. Welcome to the show, new guys. You'll catch a loss. I've had some solid wins this week. Put up some nice wins across these 3 accounts. Part of the game is taking L's, and I'll take them live here with you guys. But some liquidity up above building. Yeah, 53.50. Immediate buying pressure on this one. Big bullish candle. This may be a turn to the upside, man. Maybe a gnarly turn to the upside. So far off these lows, big bullish pressure, immediate rejection, and now some continuing up above this area of high volume. We got to close above VWAP on the 1 minute. Let's see if sellers step in here, if it's going to be a return to this level to take everybody out that was getting short too close on a stop loss up here right around VWAP, and we get some selling pressure back in. That'd be pretty sweet. I'm going to trust the stop and take a full stop out on this one if it does come back up on me. Still like the trade to the downside up until we really start breaking above this level and holding, showing some strength or maybe just some choppiness. But we got some sellers trying to step back in here. This looks pretty wiggly. This is looking volatile, guys. I don't know that I survive this one. If we do turn to the downside really aggressively, that's going to look pretty sweet. But this is looking very volatile. We got a lot of volume on these candles. This may be decision point to turn this bad boy long. That may be what we're happening today. Maybe what is happening today, not what we're happening today. But we'll wait and see. We'll let this trade play. Appreciate you guys being on here. Yeah, we're going to talk about volume indicators. We're going to talk about going full time. Somebody answered the question to the person not being able to place a trade, says paused. You have to fill out the agreement. What's up? When did you start to drop the entire industry? Let's see. Volume profile or a VWAP. I run both. Yeah, we'll talk about some of this. Yeah, if you just got the account, as I'm watching this one unfortunately come back up on me, if you just got the account, go into your dashboard, and under agreements, there's going to be something that says you're able to sign off on the agreements. That's going to move your account from paused to active. Thought process on order flow. We could talk about that. Keep an eye out for the trolls. Wolf, OG troll, welcome. You're the only one that's allowed. Magical mistake with you, Witch. Good morning, good morning. Yeah, if you hopped on late, guys, I am short for a continuation of the downside that we just did not see here. Buyers took us back higher, still in, not by much. We need sellers to step in here, reject VWAP a second time. I don't know that we get it. I like this trade, again, a little bit early, which I have to go back on again and say that these trades near the first 15 minutes are just not working out too nicely for me, man. I've stayed patient the last few days. The days that I haven't got involved a little bit quicker, like today, because I felt like we had some downside momentum. As you can see, looks like I'm going to take the full stop on this one. Just not playing too nicely with me, man. I don't like to limit myself and say I have to wait 30 minutes, I have to wait an hour. But there is a lot of volatility, a lot of back and forth movement that often happens at the open right around this time. And it can be tough to deal with. It can be tough to get involved and deal with some chop, maybe some back and forth movement before we really make a decision on which direction we're going to, head for the day. But I don't like to wait too long. Oftentimes you just sit there, watch the market run without you, and risk really missing that entry. So this one for a short down to this level, which did not play at all. That's part of it, man. Got to take the L's. Not going to be right on every trade, right? But I like this one. Short below VWAP, selling pressure, breaking, big selling pressure yesterday, right? Pulling back up overnight, retesting this area of high volume, ton of selling pressure, pushing up in pre-market, long wicks to the upside, sellers saying we're ready to take this thing lower now, opening up to the downside at the open, really selling off aggressively. That's an indication to get short. It's a simple indication for me to get short. I think on another day, this bad boy runs the downside. We still might see it today. It just might have to come and take me out first. But I like this trade. I'm definitely taking this one as early as I did on any other day. I was about to miss it really on this close. Got a little bit of a better entry. Wide stop. I like it above, session high, right? Allowing for this wick above that we have right now. We continue here, to the upside. Again, I'm just dead wrong. We get a huge bullish candle if you look at how large this is forming on the 15-minute. And I'm not anywhere near as inclined, if we don't reject here, to look short on this. Now, it could certainly happen, right? This could be the clear out move before continuation lower. But we move higher than, my stop. We go trade through the 5350s. I think we might be pulling up, right? I think we might be headed to the upside. So if you're long bias now, this is probably your entry point. If you want to fade me on this one, have at it, man. Breaking and retesting VWAP with a close above, cracking, this session high from 920 right here. Oh, excuse me, not session high. Where was our session high? Excuse me. Here's our 930, right? Right here. Retesting session high, for a move to the upside. This could be it. Obviously, I'm not flip-flopping. I'm holding on to this one. Full stop, or we're continuing down through towards these 5300s. That's what I'm going to get on this first one. Checking out VWAP. Yeah, this is dicey, right? Now we're back at VWAP, back in volume. If I wasn't short on this already, I'd really be sitting patient. I would need us to come back down through these lows or to continue and form some structure to the upside. We're really, retesting this temporary volume point of control, hanging out at VWAP. Getting involved here is not bad if you're on a real wide stop loss, but you're kind of anticipating which direction the market's going to move without really having a good indication, or what I would call a good indication based on price action and structure coming out of that area of volume. So somewhat imbalance here. Might survive it, right? We pulled all the way back down, but I don't know that we just turn on a dime here without coming back above that high. And now this is a tight stop loss just above this high. So we'll see. We'll see. Area of high volume, right here around the 5330s. Really right at VWAP, which is sitting there. 5331. Interesting spot to watch. Still in. Again, wide stop loss for a reason. We come back through this again. We got, real bullish structure, right? So I'm actually even more comfortable taking a stop on this if we do come back through this. Right now we have pulling back down, pulling back up, higher highs, higher lows getting put in. We failed to get back down below these lows, and we just pushed this high again. Low time frame structure is bullish. Low time frame structure now would be bullish coming through VWAP. So let's see how this one forms. So talking about different stuff on my chart, let's kind of start from the top. Again, for the person, KP, the person that still says paused on Project X, make sure you filled out the agreements in the dashboard, in the Top 1 Futures dashboard. Different login than Project X, right? Check that out. You should see all your accounts. It should say something in there. It should say agreements or contracts or something. Fill that out. If you have questions on it, I would hit their support. Hit them in Discord, and they'll help you out. But it's pretty simple. So it's a pretty quick movement. I would hit support. Yeah, not on your dashboard. I would definitely hit support. Yep, I would hit support with that one. Hit them up. No pressure. Retesting VWAP again. Yeah, unless we put a lower high in here and start to break this low, this is going to be a stop. I'm going to look for a second trade, right? I don't know that I'm going to get involved too quickly if I do take this one. I'm not going to jump in long, albeit we got a pretty damn big bullish candle, especially if this breaks out to the upside. Takes me out. We got 10 o'clock coming right now in a couple seconds. Not sweeping this high and just selling right off would be pretty damn sweet. Let's see what the market has for me today. Again, if I'm short from up here, a stop right at this level is just not ideal. I'd like it, way up here. I'm not going to adjust stops to a wider point. That's definitely not in my playbook, not something I allow myself to do. Once I put the trade on, move the stop loss around like a chess piece. Once you drop it, that's what you're accepting on the front end. You make it a habit of moving stop losses back farther away while you're in drawdown. Bad idea. Just take that stop, move on to the next trade, that type of deal. But I don't love where this is. I like that I've survived it so far. Don't love where this is right here, right now. For this short, I think we easily wick up here. And even if we are going to continue to sell off, we could see that happen. But we didn't get the selling pressure out of this area, right? It wasn't just a retest of VWAP. Now we're hanging out up here. We got potentially another bullish candle that's going to form. We get multiple 15-minute bars breaking above each other's highs, like we're about to get right now. It won't look good. So might look like a big long play out of this area, right? Where we're not coming down to check out the 300s. So here we go, back up on me. Sellers tried to take it right at 10 a.m. to the downside. Looks like I'm gonna grab this. I'm gonna grab a stop with you guys. Let's see. Volume tools. Guys, I'm going to watch this one for a minute. I'm going to watch this one. Not that I'm really going to manage, but I'm eyeballing order flow. It doesn't look good. 45s have liquidity to the upside. I'm not going to take this one off just in case we see a harsh rejection. I don't find closing out early right around stop loss is very helpful. We do have liquidity building at 40, 45. I think we grab that before we continue the downside, unfortunately. But if we don't sweep this high and we continue lower, this wouldn't look too bad. I'm loading up NQ bookmap, which I didn't have set. Yeah, we got about 100 at 45. That looks like trash for my stop loss. ES not going to play nice with me, at least not yet. NQ with some liquidity up above. It's an interesting spot. Yeah, my thought process is past this trade, right? We come back down. I'm managing it to the downside, through those 5300s. We stop me out to the upside here. I don't know what I get for a second opportunity. If we really start to blast the upside, and run highs out of this, I don't really have an opportunity to get long on it at that point. I'd be waiting for some serious structure. And at that point, we would really be pushing highs. I hope it's not going to have to make me try it to the downside twice. That'd be a difficult one. But again, guys, I'm going to talk a little bit about volume. I'm going to talk a little bit about order flow with you guys. I saw some of the questions in the chat. I appreciate you guys, man. Appreciate you guys being here with me. More and more people hopping on every day. It's awesome. Really, really cool news I got coming up for next week. I'll let you guys in early. I haven't even talked about it on socials or in Discord, so y'all will be the first to hear. I'm going to be running giveaways, account giveaways, and some cash giveaways. Small cash, but some cash. On here every week starting next week. I'm going to be giving away top 1 futures accounts every week, multiple, starting next week. It's going to be a random selection. I'm going to throw a form in the chat. You're going to have to fill out the form, and then I'm going to randomly select somebody or multiple people on here live with you guys on stream. Excited to be doing more giveaways. We got past the 5 off the bat. I got some to give away in Discord for Discord only. But for everybody on the lives, I got so many people hopping on. I'm ready to start giving back. Hyped about top 1 futures. They're supporting some of it, which is really, really cool. But I'll also be throwing some cash in there, man. I think that'll be fun. But it'll be on here, on the live. You'll have to be on the live session Starting next week, it'll be random times, random days. I'll throw a form in the chat. You'll get to fill that out and potentially win some accounts for some cash, man. So I'm excited to be doing that. Watching this market chop right here at VWAP. The only thing I don't want to see is a wick out and then a continuation on the downside. I might get that here. I survived the initial push to the upside by the skin of my teeth. We got consolidation. We did just sweep these 1-minute lows. We got to see sellers continue. We got to see sellers continue to take this down through the 20s, back down through my entry, down through these lows from this area. I think one more sweep up above this, which will be really painful to watch before that continuation happens, could really be likely. But this is moving. We got some volume. We got some momentum here out of these candles. Obviously, this is pretty fast for ES, just as far as how these are printing. These are, this is not small price action by any means, and it's definitely happening rapidly on here on MES that I'm trading. So, the more that happens, the less cleanly price seems to respect highs and lows. We get more and more wicks above and below before continuation. So this one could be dicey. That was looking good to try it again to the downside. We're struggling here at VWAP, right? Buyers had a chance to just rip our face off to the upside. They had a chance here to pull back down and rip our face off. This might be the one right here. A pullback down, wick below these lows, take everybody out that was getting long up here. Maybe stops below here. Could be the liquidity that it needs to move higher. This looks dicey. Still have some at 45. Yeah, this looks dicey. Looks like it could be a 45 fill before we see anything out of it. But again, I'm not moving stop loss. I'm going to take a stop loss if it comes up and hits me, and then reassess. Still like this trade again, like every day of the week. I get something that sets up like this type of structure. I got to take that one. Definitely have to take that one to the downside, especially when price is moving on some volume. Ooh, 10.06. That's a lot of momentum to the downside, but are we not going to see a wick above? This is dicey, guys. Yeah, market's moving today. That was an immediate drop, a straight up shelf on Bookmap. It's selling pressure, but that can just as easily move in the opposite direction. If you guys are trading this, I'd be extremely cautious of fills, of slippage today. Price is moving very, very quickly. On a decent amount of volume. You can see the volume behind that drop right there. Still in by the skin of my teeth somehow on the right side of that move. Let's see what happens from down here. But this could, oftentimes what we see here, guys, is either follow through or a wick in the other direction. So if you're trading this, I'd be really cautious about slippage and fills. This $500 loss, if we come through it very quickly like that, it's going to be larger than $500, right? You can see that. You can see what my resting P&L here is, and this will be a good example. Not that I want to see it happen. We ripped through this on momentum to the upside. I'm likely going to get slipped a bit. So, again, I would exercise caution if you're trading this. If you're entering and exiting with market orders, I would really be cautious of where you're placing stops and entries, and recognize that you do stand the chance of getting slipped on a day like today. We're seeing a lot of movement, a lot of momentum, rapid price movements. You saw how quickly that jumped, immediately opened up, almost 10 points lower in the blink of an eye. I'll show you real quick. I don't want to miss a drop, but I'll show you real quick on Bookmap. Just an absolute shelf, right? Like ripping through on volume to the downside. You have a stop right in here, you're oftentimes not going to get filled until down here. You're going to get slipped. Now, it can work in your favor, but it's worth noting when we see a market moving like this. So again, guys, great questions in chat. Good stuff. I'm happy to talk to you in a minute, but I got to manage this one. We got price moving too quickly for me to take my eyes off of it. I'm cautious to the downside here. Like, I'm tempted to set a take profit, which I don't usually do, but I'm going to watch this. I don't know that I survive this. It's rapid movement around this level. I think when we finally make a decision, we're going to break and move. We didn't break to the upside. I'm happy with my stop loss placement. We're back down at entry. I'm not closing out. I'm not taking a break even on this. I'm taking $500 of loss or or a profit. I don't always like to set a goal. I'm going to take what the market gives me. I'm going to exit based on order flow and price action. Yeah, man, let's see if the sellers want to take this thing lower, or are we just going to piss everybody off here in barcode? You know, so far this is ugly, man. This is really ugly for a New York session. We come through these lows. I'm happy with it. We come back above these highs. I think we're ripping higher. Sellers cannot take this thing lower. Cannot take this lower. They are struggling to do it. Even on big momentum to the downside, whatever that initial knee-jerk reaction and volume is, it's getting bought right back up. We got to see continuation on one of these moves. Otherwise, I think we're going to drift higher today. We're going to try it here. But again, this 15-minute candle turns into an insanely long wick to the downside and flips bullish, or we get a bullish engulfing candle on the 15-minute from down here. I'm just dead wrong, and market's not selling off. We're continuing higher. But let's see. See if we can do it. See if we can do it. Zach's abusive for real. Abusive? You never select me. They're random, Wolf. I'll do them random with you guys on here. Like I said, I'm gonna do a form, and I'm gonna do a random number selector so you guys know I'm being random with you guys. I've recorded all the ones that I've done. I'll make sure you know it's random. Starting to be one of the only traders I trust. Hey, listen, man. Again, I try to show you guys what I show you guys, right? I don't show you everything. I trade outside of these live sessions, of course, but I try not to talk about it in a way where it's worth a damn, because it's not. And on these live sessions, you see the trading, right? Again, I don't claim to be the best trader, to have all the secrets, everything figured out, not make mistakes. No leaderboards, right? No massive payouts. No. I don't have a live account, in this firm or anything like that. But I've done well for myself. That's subjective. I've taken multiple payouts a month this year. But forget about all that and judge me by my trading on here, right? You'll watch the losses, the wins, break-evens, everything in between. And I'll always try to give you honest answers. Although I can't be unbiased on accounts and things like Top 1 Futures on Bookmap, things that I'm partnered with and stand to make money. This dip is getting bought right back up, guys. Holy hell. Made it all the way back to break even. All the way back to my entry. Now back to VWAP. Very volatile wiki movement. I think we're going to see a movement out of this consolidation at some point. I would have loved to see that rip our face off to the downside. All the way back up to VWAP. Like I said, now forming a long wick, really long wick, bullish candle on the 15-minute. If we continue through this high, just really difficult to work with price action and structure. As you can see what this looks like, I sold off the lows looking for continuation. We didn't get that. We're chopping, consolidating like crazy. I'm not going to be upset with the stop on this one at all. I'm really happy with how long I survived the initial pullback. And this is just showing me the market is just not going to allow sellers to take this thing lower. Buyers are outweighing them, overpowering them, at least for right now, keeping us back at VWAP. The really aggressive selling pressure has been bought back up. We did see that this week. We saw some gnarly dips to the downside and then immediate rejection back up. And that's kind of what this is feeling like. Again, I'm not going to duck out of this one. I'm going to leave it on. I do not want to. I would be frustrated and annoyed if I closed out here for $165 instead of 500 and watched the market sell off in my direction, showing me that I was right the whole time. My stop loss was in a good spot. If I have to take a stop and then a continuation in my direction, it's a whipsaw, man. That happens, right? You're no matter where you place your stop, you're gonna get whipsawed sometimes. You're just gonna get taken out before it moves in your direction. That's part of it. Mine's pretty damn wide. I survived the initial push. I don't love having it right above consolidation. That kind of sucks. But, that's the structure that we formed after my entry. So totally okay with a stop on this one. Totally okay. I got to see if sellers can take this thing lower. If I exited here, realized $100, I don't think I'm getting another entry, right? I think if price is going to move, it's going to dump or it's going to pump to the upside. We got a lot of momentum on these candles, a lot of volume. So I'm going to sit this one out with you guys. I think we're going to see something fun. You're either going to watch me get my face ripped off and slipped, I think, to the upside, or you're going to watch a sell-off pretty aggressively, and we might have a nice day here. Either way, it'll be a fun learning experience for both of us, guys. That's what I can say. We'll journal, we'll review, we'll look to improve, and we'll be back on Monday trading live with you guys. No trading tomorrow. Markets are closed. Let's see a continued drop. Yeah, man, everybody smash the sell button. Sell it now, guys. This is it. Just kidding. Don't do anything. I'm an idiot on YouTube. No financial advice. 10:15. Coming up on initial balance. Can we do it to the downside, boys and girls? I don't know. Again, I'm watching the market. We guys had some good questions. I don't want to be the person that doesn't answer questions. I'm going to go back and answer questions probably after I close this trade out. We're going to talk about the volume profile. I'll show you my settings. I'll show you how I'm utilizing it, why I'm utilizing it that way. We'll talk about bookmap. We'll talk about order flow as well. But right now, I got to eyeball this one, man, because it's moving too damn quick. I'm not going to do anything to the upside besides get my face ripped off if it needs to come above these highs. To the downside, I'm going to look to flatten all on a wicked rip lower. I'm not going to hold on to this to the floor. But I'd like to grab some profit if we break these lows. I don't know that we do it. And again, the more that we hang out here and now form this consolidation, the more common one of these is. You know, a fake out to the upside and then rip your face off to the downside as we consolidate, right? We didn't have this consolidation before when I got short right in here, right? We were just forming downtrend structure. Now we are consolidating. When we do come out of consolidation, we almost always wick higher. I did survive this wick. Did survive this one above this high. So we'll see, but we're trying it. Bearish bar in the 15-minute. I tweeted about that today, man. Trading off the 15-minute chart is probably going to be safer in this market than the 1-minute. But let's see. We're going to try lows of the session. I don't know. Again, a lot of bullish. Ryan says it. Yeah, I see it. A lot of bullish rejections as well. This could go either way, guys, and I think it can go either way rapidly. We could also just chop. We could just see a trash barcoding day, a range trader's dream, what I would call trash. Back into profit, not closing out, right? If I can display one thing with you guys, I try to challenge myself to make the difficult decision, right? And a lot of times in my past life of a really poor trader, and what a lot of guys do is they watch something move so far against them, their stop holds, and then by the time it gets back to break even, they've already sweat so much and the market's given them so much pain that they go, I'm out at break even, I'm done. And then what often happens is the market's showing you you're right, and now you're closing out at break even and the thing freaking rips in your direction. So if I can do anything with you guys, I'll show you that I will hold my trades. I will hold them to stop loss. I will hold them into profit to a point that I think makes sense, right? Because I usually am pretty quick to take profit. But I will hold them all the way near the stop loss, all the way back to break even, and then all the way to the stop loss again. I will do that with you guys here right now. Today, we might see that. We got to try to come through these lows, but if we don't, we're coming back to rip my face off, and that's okay. That's okay, right? In the grand scheme of things, remember, this one trade doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean I know what I'm doing or I'm not knowing what I'm doing. That's why I'm here live every day with you guys, not one time, a year. In my P&L, is this $500 going to really make or break a difference for my, my weekly and monthly results? No, it's not. One trade doesn't mean anything. We don't know what the market's going to do next, and we don't need to make money. Mark Douglas, rest in peace. Go read Trading the Zone. We got to execute our system, right? Execute every day with some consistency. Let the odds play out in your favor. Just chill the hell out. Remember, you don't know what's going to happen next. Nobody does. Trump right now could sneeze and the market rips 100 points, right? Like, that's the market we're in. If you can't tell now that you don't know what's going to happen next with any degree of certainty, I don't know what you're waiting for, but let the odds play out in your favor. That's it. That's the thought. Lower highs, like you said, yeah, man, not bad, right? Not bad. We're trying it. Here's the lows. Can we come through the 5300s? I'm holding down through this level. Now I got to hold on this bad boy. Again, I don't know that I'm going to hold for some arbitrary number. I'd like to see what happens when we get down here. I'm not just going to immediately close out, but if we get some gnarly selling pressure into this zone, I'm going to look to flatten all. I don't know that I even grab a 1-to-1 with overnight low being down here. That's an interesting level. I think we could wick lower really, really quickly. We have liquidity all the way down here below yesterday's low. That could be a really gnarly movement. I'm definitely not holding that long. But let's see what we could do. Let's see if we start to continue down through these, right? So far, not looking bad. A little bit of volume dying off on this, right? We saw some gnarly selling pressure, but now we got volume dying back off. You can see it calming down on Bookmap. Well, you guys technically can't, but I can on the side. Liquidity at the 10s right here. We got to get through some orders at the 5s, 53.05 and at 5,300. I'm looking at that to the downside. And then if I zoom out, the next thing on the chart is the 250s, which is well below price. I don't know that I would want to hold all the way down through that level. Here we go. Testing the lows. Are we going to break consolidation to the downside? Do we wick below here and then come right back in, right? You know, where do we go from here? But we're coming out of this area, trying it lower. Got a lot of buy orders that continue to stack up below price. You know, so this can work two ways. It can really fuel this movement to the downside. It can also just act as strength and support. So this one's going to be interesting to watch, guys. Good morning. What's up, man? What's up? Yeah, sat through a painfully long trade here, all the way back near stop loss, all the way back down into profit. Happy with stop loss placement. If I can, you know, display that with you guys, at least for this initial consolidation, it made it 1 3/4 points above my stop. If you watch below my stop, if you watch me trade, you know that I don't just throw arbitrary numbers on the board. That's just a coincidence. I don't care about it being 500 or some other number. You know, above that prior high was the key, above this area of volume. You know, does this hold? Do we come back up? I don't know. But for this initial pullback before continuation lower, happy that I survived that. Now we really have decision time, right? Are we going to break out to the downside on the 15-minute chart? Are we going to turn this into a nice bearish day? Are we going to come back through, you know, this area of consolidation? I'm cautious down around here around the lows, right? I don't think it's common that price just rips through areas of volume like this. I think it's more common that we at least kind of stall, find some buyers. We get some price transacting down there. But if I zoom out on the 15-minute here, let volume reset. I think we can come down into this area, you know, maybe down towards the 5290s would be pretty sweet, right? Sweeping this overnight high. Even if we are going to reject and come back up, that would be pretty sweet. This is dicey down here though, man. Finding buyers around these lows, just not ripping through. I don't think sellers have really stepped in and gained control yet, and decided that price is going to really sell off. Value area low from yesterday, right around this consolidation. This is a dicey point. You know, top end of this. This is a dicey point on the chart. So we may not continue lower. We may not continue lower. Swept the low. You know, we're testing this area of high volume. I'm asking price to come lower, or I'm trading for price to come lower, down towards this prior weak point of control again, this 5,300 level that's been tested so many times. But we may just need to come and creep around the high level of it, the high end of it, before continuing back up. But I got to hold on to this one, guys. Everything in the direction to the downside. No way I'm looking long on this from down here. I think on another day, you watch me take an aggressive long like you did yesterday, but not on a day like today, not on this structure. So we'll let this bad boy play. See what ES has for me today, man. Let's see. Kim, what's up? I have to jump in a little later. Painfully, yeah, man. It's part of it. It's part of it, right? I say painfully, but, you know, the longer you trade, a couple things happen, right? First off, you gain more experience, but you also gain a better understanding of the market, right? You gain a better understanding of the game of probabilities that you're playing, that you don't know what's going to happen next with any insane degree of certainty. You just know that the markets are consistent on the long term, right? They're very, very random on the short term, very consistent on the long term. Patterns repeat themselves. You can define a way to, you know, to have a small but quantifiable edge in the market. You can exercise good risk management. You can make some money. But eventually you leave that idea of, I know price is going to go up or down right here, right now, and I'm going to be mad if I'm wrong. You start to leave that behind. Either it gets beaten out of you, or you read enough books and you really rework your psychology to just understand that, or a combination of both, usually. But I say painfully, right? You sit through painful drawdown, that type of stuff, because it can be. And for newer traders, especially who want to make progress, I think they don't have that understanding yet. They don't have that grasp of the randomness in the markets on the short term, which is okay, and you can work within. But you're going to take L's. You're going to take, frustrating L's, really rapid losses. All that stuff's going to happen. So that's part of the game, though. Part of the game. Watching Bookmap. We have liquidity to the downside. Again, I know I'm repeating myself here, guys, but I'm happy to go back through and answer questions. You guys got questions on my trading, my chart, all that fun stuff. Feel free, throw them in the chat. I'm going to take a win or a loss on this, and then I'll go back through and answer some questions with you guys. 5,300 might be dicey, man. Might be dicey. I don't know that I want to hang on to this one for forever. Not taking it here, not taking it at break even, not taking it on a move to the upside, but we got a lot of buyers stepping in down here. I can show you after the fact on Bookmap, but we now have continual stacks of orders down through the 5,300s. This could be dicey, and I don't know that we continue to push lower through it. Here we go. We got about 450 right at 53.05. So this is going to be a line in the sand. We can see some rapid movement to the downside. I'm probably going to look to take it down here, guys. If we move lower, right? If we don't just rip my face off to the upside, I'm going to look to take it down, down around the 295s. I don't think this is something I'm going to hold on to for a larger move, which might occur. But again, like I talk about, I'm happy taking profit when it makes sense to me. Not until that point, and I'm happy with it coming back on me. But I'm going to use discretion on this entry. Yeah, man. I'm going to show you this on Bookmap. As it's pulling off. Continual big stacks of orders, right? So this is algorithmic stuff. I'm not paying attention to this. But these are big buy orders coming in below price where buyers are getting involved. This is staying on the book here. You can see that one that just filled on a lot of volume. A lot of times price gets really volatile and wicks through this. But after this fills, these are buyers stepping in, and this could act as some strong support down here and really kick price higher. I don't have continual levels to trade through, but I'm holding down towards this 300 level right here. But this is getting dicey. This is reason for a lot of caution in this trade. That's my read of order flow, right? I think we fill this, right? I think I like being short through this. I think we fill this and we don't turn here and go rip my face off to the upside. And I think we fill 5,300, but I don't know that we continue lower. So I'm cautious here. Here we go through that level, continuing through the 5,300s. Yeah, man, I'm going to hold for a crack below, but I think that's going to be it. I'm going to hold for a crack below 5,300, and that's probably going to be it on this one. We don't have much down below. Nothing now at overnight low. Really everything off down below. I think that's going to be my game plan, guys. Nothing down below on the book. Nothing down towards overnight low. Now, this is a gnarly bearish bar here, but I think we can easily find buyers. More stacking up on the book right here at the 5,300s. I got to see a crack through this real quick and get tagged on a fill, but it's not where I want to take profit. I'd like to run this thing longer, but I'm cautious down here, man. And we might not even fill this right now. We really might not even fill this right now. But based on how many orders are stacking up right here at 5,300, I want to exercise caution. We're coming down into it, trying it. I have a light dying on me. Let's see it. Are we going to fill? Could be iceberging. We might rip to the downside. There we go. I'm out on that one, guys. Might rip to the downside here, but I can't hang on to that one with what I'm seeing on Bookmap. 52.50 would be the next hold if it was going to absolutely sell off all the way to the downside, all the way down near prior day low. I'm not going to grab it. I'm going to grab it there. I'm putting up these consistent days of 337 times 3. I'm happy with that one, right? Caught this bad boy on a nice knife down here. This is a major zone. I'm cautious of buying pressure. We already held it for quite a long period of time. I think at least a pullback is likely out of this area with so many buyers stepping in. This does look like we want to move lower on the day, but I initially wanted to hold through towards the 95s, the 90s, but just not today. I'm not going to try my luck on that one. This looks good to the downside. You want to hold this for a banger. You're not in an account with any consistency. This looks good to the downside. Maybe stop loss to break even. But I'm going to grab that one there, guys. And I know I've done that quite a bit this week. If I go back through my results, it's showing that it's helping me. I've had really, really good exits. Is today one of those days? I don't know. This thing may absolutely dump, and I could have grabbed another couple $100 out of it. But I'm really cautious down here. That's a lot of liquidity coming on the book. And I'm cautious of a harsh rejection. If not, I think we sell off and we see a gnarly down day. That's a hell of a bearish candle. But I'm not going to try my luck down here. Happy to be out of that one. And 337 times 3. Can we do some math? $1,000, another $1,000 day in the top 1 futures accounts. So let's talk about some of the stuff that we had going on, man. What's up, Tony? What's going on, man? Like and subscribe. Get this man his followers, not flowers. Appreciate you, Tony. Thanks for being on. There's the crack through, man. Could have held on for a little bit longer. Like I said, happy taking profit where I did on this one. Happy not going stop loss to break even, not scaling out, making my bed and sleeping in it. Done deal. Happy to be out for a win. A lot of liquidity built up at that level, and then not a lot down below, although we are still seeing a lot of volume. Ton of volume on that candle right there. As you can see down here, the most volume out of anything. Big area, right? Not surprising to see it right here. This is last week's volume point of control. Overnight low we just swept below, but I'm cautious that we find buyers here. If not, I think we do sell off to the downside really, really aggressively, but happy to grab my win on that one. Happy to grab my win. So let's answer some questions, man. What's up, chat? Now I can refocus. Jumping on late. Thanks for the call out on buyer sticking in 5,300, took a 3-point scalp. Yeah, absolutely. Again, guys, I'm cautious of this level. This is a down day. Really, really nice movement to the downside. 15-minute chart. Big ass bearish candles like I talked about in that tweet. You can trade the 15-minute chart and make money these days with how much ES is moving, and it'll keep you out of some really, really tough movements. This looks good to the downside, but I'm cautious down here. Massive level on the chart. So let's just talk about some of the stuff you guys were asking. Who asked me about volume? And I'll tell you to hop back on late if I see it in Discord. Yeah, Sam was asking about volume. So let's talk about this, guys, because I'm not looking for another trade right here, right now. I want to see what happens at this level. We start to sell off. You could catch some serious momentum if we do start to come through this level. Conversely, if you're looking for a long, I think now is your really aggressive long. If you think we are actually going to run the highs on the day, this would give you some clean structure to have a stop loss way down here, where if we just rip our face off to the downside, you're dead wrong. But I'm not looking for another trade right here. So 3 indicators on my chart. The VWAP line, which is in the middle here, this is just a standard VWAP. The volume profile, this is visible range volume profile, right? If you type it into, volume profile, no, that's just fixed range. Volume profile, visible range. What this does is it gives me a horizontally displayed volume based on the price action and structure that I'm showing. Visible range meaning that if I scroll out and it actually resets, it shows me a different amount of volume, right? Based on what I'm showing here. If I scroll in, it displays something different. You see, based on what I'm showing here, based on the volume and that I'm showing here, the price action I'm showing here. I really like this, especially on the 15-minute chart. I've been liking it, to mark up zones, mark up discretionary levels, and I like it on the 1 minute to pay attention to, over to the right-hand side, areas of high volume that are forming. I also use, this is the exact same thing, just in a different format, the fixed range volume profile. And what I have on my chart here on the 15-minute is the weekly prior week volume profile. And then I have yesterday's regular session trading hour volume profile, right? And I'm marking the value area high, volume point of control, and value area low. Volume point of control and this temporary volume point of control is the area of highest volume. That's what we're looking at here. That's all that means. And it throws a line off of that. The volume profile for yesterday's regular trading session hours has been very interesting to watch. I found these levels to be very helpful. I'm almost liking them better than my overnight high and low, which I might get rid of. But I've used volume since coming to the futures market very heavily. I did not have it in Forex at all. So it's not like I've been trading with volume profiles for forever. But all through last year into this year, I've really leaned into it because it just seems to respect it so well. It's my preference for whatever reason. I believe in it. I have confidence, and that's all that matters, right? You want to use Fibonacci. You want to use order blocks. You want to use Gans, Wyckoff, whatever. Whatever works for you and you have, a belief system that supports. But that's what I have on my chart, right? And it looks a little messy today because I got the prior week stuff on. Along with that, I have overnight high and low, right? The overnight session trading hours coming into the morning and prior days high and low. Here's the low. Here is the high. Yeah, the high coming off of the daily candle. That's it. That's my entire chart markup. Down here, I have traditional volume, standard settings. The settings on this are a little bit different. I'll show it to you guys. You can screenshot it if you want. I have the row size set to 200, just makes it a little bit more granular. I have the style a little bit different. This brings it over to the right-hand side, so it's not like overlapping price action so much. It kind of just like kicks its ass over to the side a little bit. And then I have just different colorways on it. If you guys have questions on this, feel free. I'm happy to make throw it in Discord. I got a video coming out on it as well, actually. Another YouTube video. But that's volume profile, right? It's volume profile. I find it very, very useful. If you go and you mark it on your chart and you backtest with it, I think you'll find that price loves to return to these areas of high volume. Just like market structure and price action, a discretionary support or resistance zone, it's just another way to mark a chart for an area of interest. That's it. Nothing magical, but it makes sense to me. I like it. Again, prior day's volume profile using a fixed range volume profile. I like value area high, value area low, and volume point of control. And if we're moving fast, like we're moving, and I've been paying attention to it this week, the last week's volume profile. Prior week, value area high, value area low, volume point of control for the prior week. So that's volume. That's all the volume on my chart. Appreciate you, Tony. Great trade. Thanks, guys. Yeah, I took the win to the downside. Good read of the market. Survived the pullback. Continued lower. Got out right down around here, around this 5,300 level, right? I think that was my exit right there. We are continuing the downside, selling through this. This looks aggressive, man. We might be in for a down day. This is going to be dicey in the U.S. markets. We could be in for a gnarly sell-off down around these levels, man. We come down below prior day low, which it looks like we're going to go and check out. This could be really gnarly to the downside. Really, really gnarly. So we'll watch that. But I'm going to talk a little bit about order flow since I had you guys asking me nonstop about it. This is, and first on this chart, let me just throw this back on here. If you want to check this out, this is Top 1 Futures with Project X. Here is my link, code RDF. Throw something on there with you guys. I can't stand to be unbiased when I'm talking about this. I stand to make money from that. But if you want to check this out, straight to funded, no evaluation prop firm. You don't have to waste time trading in a account that you never stand to make money withdrawing from. I'll show you guys this right here. Here's the pricing straight from their site, $3.99. These are the accounts that I'm trading right here, right now. You're able to copy trade up to 3, which I did today. That's why I made $1,000, not $337 or whatever the number is. $6,000 worth of max loss limit. Really, really solid rule set, but go and find this stuff out for yourself. Read the rules, read the frequently asked questions up here. And if you want to check it out, code RDF. One of the fastest paths to payout of any prop firm, objectively. I'm partnered and funded with multiple. I think this is an extremely awesome opportunity for traders. We see a ton of guys getting paid out. Hop in their Discord. There's a ton of guys getting paid out, $5,000 at a clip, very fast. They're living up to that claim of extremely fast payouts. Most guys are saying right around 30 minutes, which is wild. But again, do your own research. I can't be 100% unbiased because I stand to make money from you guys using that code, that link. But you find what I'm doing here free on YouTube valuable, you want to support your boy, go ahead. If not, don't do that. You find a different firm that works for you. You can also use code RDF, but make your own decisions, right? What's best for you. That's Top 1 Futures. That's the account that I'm on. If you want to use, some of the tools that I'm using, that's how you can do it with Project X. This is Project X. Yeah. So order flow real quick. I'm going to put the little masterclass on. Not the masterclass because I'm an idiot and I use this in a stupidly simple way. So let me start there. Order flow and bookmap and market mechanics, the narratives around order flow are advanced, right? And I use this in a stupidly simple pattern recognition way. That's really all I do with it. So if you want to learn the narratives around order flow, the functions, the auction theory, there's going to be videos straight from Bookmap that will be helpful, but I'm not going to be your guide because that's not how I trade any other way. I abandoned that a long time ago. I like to take a very, very simple approach, focusing on price itself, the movements themselves, pattern recognition, volume, order flow, right? These things that I use. And it works well for me. I think it might work well for a lot of other traders, but that's my humble biased opinion. Also, I'm partnered with Bookmap. I can't be unbiased about Bookmap. So, but anyway, we're going to talk about it. This is order flow. This is level 2 data. Bookmap is a subscription that you have to pay for. And then the level 2 data feed, which I have coming from Bookmap data, but you can also use Rhythmic, which I have as well, is a separate subscription, right? You would need this for any order flow tool or any depth of market chart that you're going to use. Even the standard depth of market with Top 1 Futures in Project X, you need level 2 data. You need the full book. What we're looking at here, which looks confusing, but it's actually really simple. This is ES. This is price, right? These are ES prices. Price is currently trading 53.02 and a half, a quarter. When we look to the right, if I can move my mouse slowly enough, maybe. Will it display it? No. This is the current order book. This is what's commonly referred to as the depth of market, the ladder, the DOM. What this is showing, the same way a traditional DOM is going to show, because Bookmap's not that special, just the heat map is cool, is the quantity of orders above and below price at any given price level, right? So what we're looking at here is these numbers right here are the quantity of orders, and they're changing rapidly in live market conditions above and below price. Sell orders above price, buy orders below price. This is liquidity. What most people define as liquidity is an area on the chart, or liquidity in general is kind of a broad term, but an area of liquidity would be an area where a lot of orders are resting, where market participants are ready to get involved. That's what you can see with Bookmap. These are volume profiles. I'm not going to go into volume profiles. I'm not going to go into cumulative volume delta, which is a cool thing to look at, but we're not going to talk about it right now. So building off of that, what we're seeing here right now is liquidity above and below price, right here, right now, buyers and sellers getting involved, which we know is happening. That's how price moves, right? This stuff above and below price is what many guys refer to as the algos, algorithmic liquidity, liquidity providers, liquidity bands. I don't know exactly what this is. Nobody's really been able to define it for me really extremely clearly. Outside of it's just algorithmic liquidity that I don't like to pay attention to. There's ways to take it off the chart, but it jacks up the other readings on the chart, and I don't like to do it, so I leave it on here. But it's worth noting that this shit that's moving around rapidly, excuse my language, I don't pay attention to. What I pay attention to is this order book right here, but the heat map, right? Here's what we're looking at. This heat map is just a visual display of the DOM. That's all this is. Areas where we have a lot of orders on the book are lit up like a Christmas tree, right? If I zoom out to 52.50, we have a Christmas tree down here, right? Why? We got 309 orders on the book, buy side, down below price. That's showing me right here, if I wasn't going to look at the histogram or whatever the traditional DOM looks like, really, that I should be paying attention down here, right? A horizontal level that I want to be aware of. I'm going to talk about how I use this and kind of how I read this in my trading. But first, we're just defining it. Everything in this box right here is live market conditions, right? This is current price, the same way a candle would be printing. We are looking at, actually not current price, we're looking at best bid and best ask. The space in between would be the spread. And we have volume bubbles, right? Volume bubbles are just another way to display traditional volume, which is down here, just displays it over price. You can put candlesticks here. You can put a bunch of different stuff here. It's so customizable. Again, I run this like an idiot, almost basic settings. So many other cool things you could do with Bookmap. I find it really useful, just a simple way. Now, let's go back to my trade and what I was looking at and why I started to get cautious there, right? So here's how, before that, here's how I start to read Bookmap and utilize order flow. I run it pretty zoomed out. Some guys run it really, really zoomed in. I run it pretty zoomed out. I'm looking for levels that come on the book like we have right now, right above that 53.05 level. I'm looking for levels that come on the book of large quantity of orders above and below price. And here's how I use that in my trading. If price action, market structure, and volume for my traditional candlestick chart are lining up in the direction of those orders, I start to form the belief that we're more likely to go and fill those orders. If there's multiple orders, multiple stacks of orders at different price levels, I think we might make it through those levels, right? If there is one massive stack of orders on the book, I think we might go fill that order, those orders. When we get there, we might find a lot of support or resistance based on if it's above or below price, because those are corresponding buy and sell orders. Why do I believe this? Here's the complete dumb guy explanation. Forgetting market auction theory and all of the narratives which are, really, really strong and you might want to pay attention to, based on simple pattern recognition, because I stare at Bookmap all damn day and that's what I see happen over and over and over again. Is it magic? Does it always happen? Absolutely not. Sometimes price completely disrespects anything that's on the chart. We don't go fill orders. We slice through orders. We don't find any, they go away, right? Because that's another piece this we'll talk about. But it's not magic. It's just like any other tool. But I use this based in pattern recognition in a very simple way. That's the way that my mind is easiest and least friction to be able to interpret it, and it works very well for me. I used to try to have an understanding of every which way and why and all of these crazy narratives around who's controlling everything and price and all of this craziness and fundamentals and news. None of that stuff's helped me. It just slowed me down. Pattern recognition. So anyway, talking about the trade example from today, we're selling off, right? We're selling off to the downside. I'm looking short based on price action and market structure. I have corresponding levels on my chart that I'm paying attention to. We have levels down below price. I say, hey, you know what? I think we're likely to continue down. And as we started to get towards that 5,300, we had orders come on the book, right? This is almost a half hour ago. We're looking back in time. I think we're likely to come down and fill these orders. We've been filling orders to the downside. You can see the volume traded as we come down into those buy side orders. We see a lot of volume being traded to the downside. Here's where I started to get cautious, right? I got my 5,300 here. Nice. We got more orders stacking up right here. We're still continuing lower. I like the way price is continuing to trade through them. Here's where I get a little bit cautious. These are orders that were not formally resting on the book. It's not the algorithmic stuff. Big stacks. This was like 430 something, right? 432. Big stacks of orders buy side below price that are coming on the book to get filled. This is, these are market participants, but forget about that. When I see this happen, oftentimes they start to drive price higher. It's showing me that buyers are very interested to get in control here. And forgetting about that, again, when I see orders like that fill, oftentimes that does kick price up higher. I'm cautious. Also, as we're starting to come down into 5,300, I don't see anything really, really strong below price. If I move it that way, we had some down here, but I don't see a lot of levels that we're likely to come and fill, right? This is kind of the last one on the book before we go into no man's land. Oftentimes when I see that, these orders fill, maybe we wick below, we see some volatility, but then we drift higher, right? Again, just pattern recognition. I encourage you guys to look at this stuff for yourself and decide how you want to utilize it. Didn't happen today, right? We continued lower, and then we saw even more orders come on the book. Let me zoom out a little bit. We saw even more orders come on the book down below, coming into current price. Did these fill over here? No, they didn't fill. So here's an example where orders didn't fill, right? We got close, but we didn't fill to the downside at 285. But that's a simple way that I use order flow, right? Really what I'm paying attention to I open up my charts, I mark my chart up, I run order flow on the side, and I say, do we have a ton of sell orders very close to price? Do we have a lot of liquidity in one area? I start to form the opinion that I think that liquidity is going to be filled. Sue me, right? It's as simple as that. Why do I do that? Pattern recognition. I watch this shit every day, excuse my language, and I find that that happens. Does it happen all the time? No. Can it work against you? Absolutely, right? If you're targeting something and price just doesn't do that, or you're cautious of something, it can work against you. But for me, it's additional data. This is not viewable on a candlestick chart. This is what's going on behind the scenes, right? But hasn't happened yet, right? And there's an argument to be made that that's not helpful. So again, for all these reasons, I like order flow on the side. It is secondary or third dairy, right, to price action, market structure, volume, levels on my chart. That's what I'm paying attention to. But I find it really helpful for trade management, really helpful for stop loss and take profit placement. It's pretty good as you're approaching these levels to be able to know if we have large stacks of liquidity above or below. I find it helpful. You might say this is BS. I don't care about it. Whatever. Cool. You find what works for you. And again, another important point, I'm biased with Bookmap. I'm going to throw it in the chat, right? I talked to you guys. I'm partnered with Bookmap. I stand to make money. If you want to check it out, here's the best discount available for Bookmap. This brings you right to the checkout page, but you can go ahead and check this out. But this is Bookmap. If you wanted to just use a traditional depth of market, and here's a big thing that people don't talk about, but I'm always trying to give you guys the real info. It's the same thing. Bookmap just makes it easy for idiots like me and maybe idiots like you that want to see 5250 lit up like a Christmas tree, right? Here's how you can add this to your chart right here on Project X, excuse me. You can have the depth of market. I'm going to try not to mess my entire chart up here. You can have a depth of market, right? And if you have level 2 data, which I don't, but you can pay for an additional fee, the same way that you need to pay for Bookmap, this is showing you the same thing, right? We have price, and you're able to see quantity of orders on the book above and below price. You're also able to trade off of this. You can run different depth of markets on, that's actually not connected, so it's not showing me shit. Let me see something. I don't use this DOM, so I'm not going to be really well versed at setting it up, but let's see if we can set it up. Wow, that really messes my entire chart up. There we go. I don't want to accidentally click it and put an order in, but that's what you're able to see here, right? You're able to see best bid and ask. You're able to see where we're at on the chart. You're able to see quantity of orders on the book if you have level 2 data. Right? Which I don't. But that's essentially what we're looking at here with Bookmap, right? This is the order book. This is the current depth of market. We're looking at the same thing. Price levels, quantity of orders on the book. It just displays it in this really cool way. Questions, concerns, feel free, guys. Like I said, I don't consider myself the order flow expert. I don't consider myself the Bookmap expert. I tell you how I use it the same way that I trade with a lot of my stuff in a very, very simplistic way that is helpful for me. What do you think? Will ES drop? I don't know. Right now, this is looking really bearish. We did find buyers right at this level. No big surprise. We're back at 5,300, trading back and forth. This is one of those days where I definitely could have grabbed a little bit more out of this one, waiting for the 95s. Would have liked to do it, but like I said, happy with where I took my profit on that trade to the downside. Grabbing it as I see fit, utilizing order flow, utilizing the levels on my chart. Has been working better than trying to hold for every last bit of profit. But yeah, I don't know. I think this is the decision-making part. We start to come through this low. I think we're selling off, and we could be in for like a gnarly down day. We bounce here, head back towards VWAP. I think we're either going to chop or we're going to push the upside. But so far, nothing on this is calling long for me. Nothing's calling this long. Are you on the risk committee for Top 1? I don't think there's a risk committee for Top 1, so I don't know exactly what that is. How do they promote live traders? Here's what I would recommend. Go directly to the website, because I could talk about it all day, but go directly to the website, go to frequently asked questions, type in live, and you can get details on the transition to live. Here's the really, really simple basics, not to go into detail on what it is and how it works. 3 payouts from the same account, you are considered for a live account. It's the fastest, as far as I'm aware, in the industry to get moved to a live account. And there's a lot of benefits when you do get moved to live. Go and check that out on the site. Frequently asked questions off the top. type in live, read all about that. More questions, hit their support, hit them on Discord. But I'm a partner for Top One. Again, guys, I try to repeat this like 47 times. I'm affiliated with Top One. I stand to make money. I can't be unbiased. It's very important to be transparent about that so you can make your own decisions about the information that I give you. I think if everybody did that, like promotion and marketing would be fine, right? Just transparency is important. Looks like a great supply zone. Yeah. What do you think about short? Yeah, and where did this zone come from, right? You guys might say like, oh, wow, Zach, you have such good zones. It's magical. I don't think so, but you might think that. Where did this come from? First, can I hide this? First, if I just zoom out on this 15-minute chart, where is one of the biggest areas of high volume, right? And it's kind of shifting because we're trading it. Right here. That's where this came from. What else does this coincide with? Pretty damn obvious. Tested multiple times as resistance with harsh rejections to the downside. It's also a support and resistance zone. Resistance flips support. I want to pay attention to that, right? That's a big area. Where do these more clearly defined levels come from? That volume profile that I just hid. This is the prior week's volume point of control. Object tree. Do I have 47 things on this chart that I'm hiding? I don't think so. Prior week's volume point of control. That red line right there, right? I think I'm a little bit off for some reason, but yeah, that red line right there. Along with that, it's also overnight low, important area that I pay attention to, right? The area that we traded from session changeover to market open at 9:30, right? Really clear. Two levels right there. It's also value area high from yesterday. Value area low from yesterday. Clear level on the chart. Very clear. Am I surprising that we stopped there on a dime and we're forming a bullish candle on the 15-minute and now struggling to get below 5,300, which is also a round psychological number? I mean, take your pick of things that you want to use or how many. No, right? Really clear levels. Does this always happen? Absolutely not. Does it happen enough time to be dangerous or at least just give you a way to structure risk and wait for where you want to get involved in the market? For sure. You could also be scalping on the 1 minute with this. You could be really scalping on the 1 minute, which I do as well, just not when we're so damn volatile like this. Let me reset my volume tools. Right off of these levels, right? Like look at how clean these levels hold for buys and sells. Really, really interesting spot on the chart. So we'll have to see what happens here. Yeah. Which indicator? This one on the side, I'm assuming. This is, which I talked about earlier, visible range, volume profile, visible range. That's what this is. My settings, if you guys want to see it again, I get asked about this more than anything. I have a couple cool ones here. Not cool at all, just random stuff. 200, essentially just increase this number quite a bit. 2, 3, 400. It breaks the rows down to be really, really small. 25, I think it's 30 or 35. Traditionally, moves it over to the side a little bit. And then some different colors on here. That's pretty much it. Visible range, volume profile. More questions. Yeah, I think that was it, guys. Any more questions, feel free to drop them, man. Happy to have you guys on here. Another win. Taking a lot of wins this week. Happy to kind of recover in these accounts. I'm in profit. Happy to be working towards a payout, albeit they are small profit days. Base hits, baby. Base hits gets you paid. Keeps the consistency rule in check. And, it's been working well for me. Again, I would, if I had to talk about improvements, which I always look to do, I'd like to grab a little bit more profit on these trades. I've noticed my exits have been really good. I've had to run a pretty wide stop loss to survive the BS that we saw today. But I would like to be capitalizing on another, few points of profit on some of these, increase that risk to reward. But the win rate's been solid and enough to support it. But that's probably my only input for myself. I always try to critique myself. Getting involved early, again, not helping me out. I survived it today, but I didn't have to get involved that early. I could have waited for this crap to happen and then taken it again, So I'm probably going to stop trying to trade the first 30 minutes. I really am, man. It's just too choppy and volatile. This murders everybody, takes everybody out, and then we get a clean move. Along with that, the 15-minute chart has really been helpful. It's not the 15-minute chart has anything special, but just zooming out, really zooming out, trying not to get too zoomed in on the 1 minute. It's just too volatile, too violent, and that's been helpful as well. Oftentimes also paying attention to the 15-minute chart into the afternoon, catching some of those larger movements into the afternoon has been pretty sweet. But yeah, that my biggest area for improvement, I'm going to say, is really fine-tuning that take profit. I don't like to set fixed take profits. I like to exit on discretion. It's been working for me really, really well. I'm hard-pressed to hold on for, for those last bits of movements, especially if order flow and price action is telling me I should get out. But that's definitely an area that I want to review, right? And how do you do that? You look at your trades, right? Here, this is what it looked like. My entry, I think my entry was over here somewhere. You look at your trades and you say, well, I exited somewhere down here, right? I'll have to go back and look, but I exited somewhere down here. And if everyone continues, further to give me more profit, that tells me I should be holding my trades a little bit longer. If everyone on my entry reverses back down through my, entry and stop loss, it tells me I should be closing trades where I am or even earlier, right? Simple data review. This is the power of journaling and just reviewing your trades very simply. Throw executions on the chart on the weekend, have a cup of coffee, do a little bit more of what's working, a little bit less of what's not. Very, very simple stuff. Yeah, settings for you, brother. No problem. Input, row size, paying attention. Input row size, 200. This is all coming out on a video. I got a long form video coming out as well, man. So smash like, smash subscribe. You'll get the videos. Row size, 200. Width over here is changed. I think this is different, 25. And then colors are different, right? I just black and gray. Just black and gray. Profile, point of control is also blue line. Yeah, guys, happy to have you on here. Again, you want to check out Top 1 Futures. These are the accounts that I'm trading, man. Straight to funded. I'm happy to be working towards a payout on these bad boys. I'm psyched. I'm psyched to see everybody getting paid out, or not everybody. I'm happy to see a lot of people getting paid out, everybody that's due a payout. Code RDF if you want to check this out. The link's pinned in the chat. 50% off through the end of this month. You only got, I think, another week. 50% off. Along with that, I'm running giveaways for these accounts and cash giveaways every week coming up. Quote me now, not every day, but next week, starting next week, account giveaways, straight to funded account giveaways, and cash giveaways. Small cash, man, but I'll be kicking you guys some stuff. Gonna be really fun. I'm hyped to do that. I used to do a lot of giveaways. I'm back at it. We're gonna be doing a bunch more. Giving back to you guys that are hopping on the live session. So you're gonna have to be on here to win it. You're going to have to be on when I release the form, but that's coming up starting next week. Multiple account giveaways and cash giveaways every week coming up. I'm hyped. Really, really hyped. So outside of that, guys, I run a free Discord. Hop in the free Discord. Subscribe. I got a ton of stuff coming out, long form. More stuff on Top 1 Futures. I just did 3 things that helped me in my trading this year. I got volume profile videos coming out. I got back testing a 15-minute, super simple working from home strategy on the 15-minute chart. Whole bunch of that stuff, man. So appreciate you guys being here as always. This is an awesome community. I'm grateful to have you here. It'd be super boring here doing it for myself. If you support me using a code, using a link, some other way, I greatly appreciate you. But you don't have to do anything like that, man. Do what's best for you. Do what's best for your trading. Recognize I can't be unbiased with the accounts that I'm trading and talking about and promoting, or even software like Bookmap, because I stand to make money from it. But that's the choice that I make. It enables me to do what I do here for free, right? That type of fun stuff. Outside of that, guys, trade safe into the afternoon. Let me do the quick analysis. We continue lower. Here's very simple. Here's my analysis. Here's the way that I'm going to look to trade. 15-minute bar breaking to the upside, strong volume, strong momentum. I'm going to look long on it. Breaking to the downside, continuing lower, I'm going to look short on it. Very simple. I'm going to look at the 15-minute chart. I'm going to place a trade, probably with a stop loss above whatever level of structure or 15-minute bar that forms. Stupidly simple. I tweeted about that this morning. I think if you just did that in the direction of VWAP, you'd be pretty damn dangerous. That's what I'm looking for into the afternoon, guys. If you see me catch a trade, it's probably what it was. Remember, guys, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. I'm just an idiot here on YouTube. Trading's risky. Almost everybody that trades loses money. If you trade prop firms or anything else, you're probably going to lose all your money. I mean that with dead seriousness. Do your own research. Make your own trading decisions, right? That's important. Entertainment purposes only. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is. Even in funded prop firm accounts, you're in sim environment. It's important to note. And the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that I just talked about 47 times. that says, I stand to make money from links to my content. I can't be unbiased. Code RDF, all the links, all that fun stuff. I appreciate you guys being here. There's no trading tomorrow, so I won't be live. Markets are closed. See you guys back at it on Monday. Whole bunch of stuff coming up. Giveaways, big giveaways coming up next week. I'm hyped. I will see you guys Monday, 9:30. I'll be talking to you guys in Discord. Thanks for hanging out. Have a great rest of the trading day. Have a great weekend. Go outside, spend time with your family, spend time with yourself, nature, touch some grass. Get off the charts for a minute, man. Give yourself some time to breathe. Talk to you guys soon. Be easy.